Let's get to it. It's a little tutorial on how to do a mid skin fade. I'll try to explain it step by step. First thing you want to do is create an outline. I'm using the Andis Slimline Pro. It's a detailer, so what you want to do is you want to just create an outline. You don't want to do it too deep. You want to do it to a point where you don't dig in. You just create like a template, so then you can go back over it and take it out with a 0. So the first thing I'm doing here is just creating an outline. Alright, now pause the video only to explain. You need to understand what open and closing a guard is. That's closed, that's open. That's closed, that's open. Now, the reason why you need to know that is because when it's closed, it's basically 0. When it's open, it's 0.5. That's without any guards on. So here I'm going in with the lever closed. So basically 0, and I'm taking out the little outline I created. Now the next thing you want to do is basically go back in with the detailer and get a bit more of the skin. So you want to hit it underneath with the detailer and try to get a bit more skin out of, because the 0 is not going to get it to the point you want it. Now you could just use a foil shaver, but the thing is, this client here is one of my boys. He's more prone to get razor bumps if I use just a foil shaver and go in. So I prefer to go in just with the detailer, get it close to the skin as I can. Then I touch it up with a foil shaver just underneath it, so I don't go all the way up. Now what you want to do is you want to open the lever. So no guard open. And you want to create another guideline. So you want to go up maybe ½ an inch and create another little guideline above the 0. Now you have to go all the way around. I'm only going to show you one side, but you'd have to go all the way around, obviously. And then next thing you want to do is, I'm basically just debulking a little bit just to clear out the surface, create a smoother surface for myself, so I can go back in and do all the work without too much hair flowing about. So I got the 2 guard on here with the lever open, and I'm just taking out some of the bulk. Now the next thing I'm doing here is I've got the 1 guard on with the lever open, so basically it's a 1.5. And what I'm doing is I'm creating another guideline about ½ an inch and going all the way around. Now what you notice is you have 2 guidelines. Now you've got the 0 to the 0.5, and then you've got the 0.5 to the 1.5. Now the next thing here is I've kept the 1 guard on, so keep it on, but just close the lever. So now it's a 1, it's not a 1.5 anymore because you close the lever. And then you go back over that guideline. Only reason to do that is because you want to lighten it up a little bit, because if you go back in and try to attack the line, you leave another harsh line. So you want to lighten the 1.5 up with a 1. Don't go all the way up, just flick it up to the top, but not all the way. Instead of going all the way up to it, just flick into it. As you can see, you don't want to go too high, you just want to make the surface a bit lighter. Now the next thing you want to do is, I've got the ½ guard on, so the 0.5 guard. And here, what you need to do is, in order to take the line out, you would have to close the lever. But I would say maybe start with it open, slowly close it, keep closing it, and then once you get to the line, close it all the way. Only reason I say that is because if you just go in with it, sometimes you can probably be like, you probably notice that, hang on, I've gone a bit too high. Whereas if you start with the lever open and then come a bit lower each time, you kind of know where not to go too high. You're more on the safer side. Now usually what happens is once you come in with that 0.5 guard, you still sometimes you can still see a bit of a line, so you probably have to go back over it with the no guard lever open. So you can see here I've still got the half guard on and I'm taking the line out, but there's still a bit of a line left. So what I've done is I've taken the guard off, lever open, so it's still 0.5, and just use your corners and take out the line. You want to use the corners as much as you can. You don't want to always use the whole scope of the trimmer or the clipper, sorry, because what happens is you can end up it just won't give you a nice surface. You probably mess up the whole fade, to be fair. You sometimes just want to use the corners, use the teeth of the blade and do some detailed work. And at the same time, what you want to do is under that you want to close the lever and take out the line. So the bottom line, there's like a faint line right at the bottom, you take it out with the lever closed. So what I've just done here is lever closed, taken out the bottom line, but you're gonna have to do a lot of trigger work. So you open the clipper, the lever, close it a little bit. I've opened it a lot here just so I can attack the line above the bottom one. The main objective here is you want to close the lever, take out the bottom line, and then maybe use the corners by opening the lever and taking out the line above. Now here I'm just debulking a little bit more. I've got the 2.5 guard on here, and yeah, I'm just flicking in. Now when you do that, what else you want to do is once you've gone with the 2.5 into the top of the hair, you want to also then close the lever and come behind it and lighten that spot as well, so it'll be a 2. That way when you next use the 1.5 guard, it will knock out that one final line you see. So you want to go all the way around 2.5, and then after that close the lever and lighten it up to a 2. Now I've got a 1.5 guard on. If you want to take out the line, just go in with a 1.5. I sometimes open the lever just to do some detailed work, but you want to close the lever here, 1.5, and then take out that final line. Also use your corners a lot, around the edges, use the teeth of the blade. At the back you can probably just use the whole blade on it, to be fair. You can just keep it flat on the surface and do it. You want to use a flick up motion. You don't want to go all the way up and create a guideline, you just want to flick in and out. Sometimes you see, even when I'm doing that, I can still see a bit of a line. So what I'll do is I'll go back in with the 1 guard lever open and just do some detailed work. So I'll probably do it after this shot. So yeah, here you can see I'm using a 1 guard lever open, and I'm just attacking that line again. It's just to do some detailed work, because sometimes you can always see that like a harsh line still. You need to take it out. Now here I'm just doing some detailed work. Lever open, still see a bit of like a harsh line, so keep the lever open, do some detail work, use the corner of the teeth. And then here I've got the 2.5 guard on, doing some more detail work, and then I can see a bit of hair sticking out, so I just go down the grain with a 2.5, so 2 guard open, and then it basically gives you a cleaner cut. You don't get any hair sticking out. I don't want my client to have a mushroom head, you know what I'm saying? Right, my guy looks happy. This guy's smiling, bro. Shit. But yeah, basically, yeah, just some detailed work here. I've got the 1.5 guard on. You just want to knock down some of the hairs on the hairline. This allows you to basically get a flat surface, a little template to do the lineup. It makes your lineup come out cleaner, and it'll make it easier for yourself as well. Now once you go with the shape up, I always say start in the middle, so you can somewhat get an understanding of how far to go. You don't want to push the hairline back, but my client here, you can, like, one side of his hairline is softer than the other, so it naturally comes out darker on one side. So what I would suggest is, if you've never done a lineup before, use 2 hands. I would definitely say use 2 hands, because one hand to rest your hand on the forehead so you get a balance, and then once you move over to the other side, yeah, I'm just doing it with 1 hand, but I would suggest use 2 hands, because that stuff ain't easy if you're just starting up, especially during quarantine. If you're trying to trim someone else, or you're trying to get someone to trim you, if they're doing it 1 hand, boy, they're gonna mess up your shit. To be fair, this client's hairline is pretty easy to do. Some hairlines aren't as easy. Now when it comes to the beard, I'm basically done the same steps as the hair, but in reverse. So use the detailer, went down a bit, then kept going lower with no guard on, lever open, and slowly closed it up. It's just some same process. Now I'm just knocking down some of the bulk, the flies. Lining up the back here. Don't dig in too deep with the detailer, because that can sometimes leave like scratches, you know. But that stuff is sharp, man. Especially when it's 0 gapped. Yeah, it's sharp. Now I'm just knocking out the flies some more, cleaning it up. And then here comes, so I'm basically using a cutthroat, a blade, to do the shape up on the beard. It's crazy what a lineup can do, man. Like, seriously, especially on a beard, that shit changes the game, man. Now you can see my client here, his last barber, it's not me by the way, put the beard a bit lower. So what I try to do is keep it high as possible, you know, so especially if the hair is there. Here I'm just using the blade on the hairline. But yeah, man, basically this is the first time me trying to explain how to do a lineup and all that. But let's have a look at it before and after. If you're not understanding something, just drop me a message, drop a comment, I'll reply to it. And here's the after, man. Let's get it. My guy needs to back up, bro. This guy's too close. But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, comment,